So, welcome everyone to the session. Okay, so we have already discussed the three Austronesian languages, and now we are going to discuss Sino-Tibetan language, Meru, a Sino-Tibetan language in Bangladesh. So the next paper this session will be presented by Mithun BANERJEE, and the topic is language ecology and the Meru lexical study of card verbs. So let's welcome.
Thank you all. Actually, I changed a bit the topic from initially it was investigating the language ecology of Meru, a lexical study. So I changed a bit. So my topic is right now, I think I'll find it. And language ecology and the Meru lexicon, the study of Meru card verbs. So this is the structure of my talk, introduction, and I will try to highlight some point about language ecology and why it is like really important for the indigenous language studies and Meru people, their language, my central queries and card verbs in Meru card verbs and their ecological things and influence, etc. So this is the Meru language. Meru is an extremely understudied Sino-Tibetan language, mainly spoken in Bandarban, southeastern part of Bangladesh. There is no descriptive reference grammar or dictionary is available on that language. And Bandarban is situated the southeast region of Bangladesh, one of the three hill districts of Chittagong Hill Tracts. This is the country's remotest district and the least populated one. So Meru people, they have their own religion, they practice it called Torai. So this is not similar with Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, not similar like that region. They are usually Buddhism is a kind of dominance in that part of Bangladesh, but Meru people has their own religion, it's called Torai. And forest actually plays a very important role in their life. And Meru is basically agriculture-based society. So Meru people and their language. Meru people have Meru language. The affiliation with Meru is a Tibeto-Burman language, and according to the Glottolog, it belongs to its own branch called Meruic with another language called Kongso. But there is also still lots of debate going on because Schaeffer thinks that Schaeffer has like three speculation about Meru. Maybe this is Proto-Tibeto-Burman language, maybe this is lost Tibeto-Burman language, or Cookish. But Loeffler and Luce both assume that Meru has a very strong linguistic connection with Quranic languages because in the first picture, if you see that the migration route, according to the Joshua Project, Meru people migrated several hundred years ago from Myanmar to Bangladesh in their present inhabitants. And that time, previous time, maybe the Quranic people were their relatives, neighbor or something like that. Because lots of old Burmese period inscription also mention in the Quranic language, and Meru also borrowed lots of lexical items from the old Burmese, not from the new Burmese, according to the Luce. Now I will highlight a bit about linguistic ecology, and there are lots of perspective on this phenomenon, but in my talk, I am just focused on the classical one, Einar Hagen. The ecology of language, the language ecology studied interaction between language and its environment. So linguistic ecology actually accept the language dynamics and include the language and societal change, engenderment, and human rights. In this way, language ecology actually support the indigenous language and help to address their situation and the point of view. This is my research question. Actually, I have just one research question. How is the Meru ecology landscape reflected in the lexicon? But the scope is very limited here, only 20 minutes, that I will focus on the Meru card verbs. Even I couldn't accommodate all of the card expressions in their language. In my talk, I'm trying to like limit my talk with the trees and forest things, but they have more than that, the lexical things. The data source from my fieldwork I did last year in Bangladesh, and still I am doing my fieldwork remotely with my participants. So I did my fieldwork in Chimbuk, Bandarban. I visited 2 Meru villages and I collected data from there. That villages actually, most of the speakers, they are monolingual or Bangla was our communicative language for the field work. This is actually Mru landscape. Mru villages are surrounded by the forest and hill region. As I said that before, the first photo actually it was a video, but when I converted my file from PPT to PDF, so I cannot play it right now, but it actually how Mru village look like. All of the Mru village, they try to make a village near to the water source. So water source is very important in their life, and forest. Even before this religion, this Torai, they practice certain kind of paganism, and they believe that there is two spirit actually exist in the water source and the forest. There is a two good spirit for them, and there is a kind of worship, but now they don't practice it anymore. Mru houses are made by bamboo. It's totally the main material of Mru village, how they made, and as I said that agriculture and foresting. So cart as a verb, as a theoretical background, I choose Dixon. The impression of cart verb that involve three semantic roles: an actor who manipulates an instrument to effect, and the patient, and move or that items. And there is four key factors for this verb category. These are motion, contact, effect, and instrument specificity. So, and I will examine how its effect on Mru verb analysis. So, in many languages, and most important thing is card verb is mainly transitive verb. It can assign two theta rules, and in many languages, not only card verb, peel, crash, and breaks verb also share some features, same features. But here is a question because of the break verbs, they don't need any instrument. Then how could we accommodate this verb in the same group? The sense is here actually cut means something separate from the source. So in that sense, we can discuss, and I found actually lots of literature, they discuss both of this category in the same time. So there is a quite rich literature about card verbs in minorities languages. So I found Wafela et al. They found that Lubukusu language and Niger Congo and Bantu language, this card verb is mainly agent dependent. And Buriadata and Kashni, they found 47 nearest middle dialect card verbs and semantically referred cards. And this is a huge number. And actually, which actually reflect their social life. And in the social practice, they actually use that a lot. Modi also researched something on the Sino-Tibetan perspective card verb in Milang, and she found that the structural flexibility and verb stem formation and the speaker's cultural experience in the environment usually connected with this verb thing. So this is not surprising. Mru people also we can get some in Mru language. So card verbs in Mru and trees. Cutting tree, I found three expressions in Mru. Creep, Nongon, and Tu. Tu is the actually basic default word for card verb in Mru. So trim of branches, I found three also verb, cave, dough, and plague. I will later explain how they difference because clave is something, if trim of branches with the scissors. Though is something if they cut the tree branches with their traditional cleaver, and plague is something when they use their hand. Cut of leaves is totally different plague, and cut of tree into small pieces is dong. Then split them into the firewood. They use plague, and Mru people has a very unique oven to cook their things inside of the house. So if they don't need to resize the firewood again to fit into the oven, so they split it again, but they say use another verb, pong. So in this sense, Mru has a quite, but cutting bamboo and cutting tree sometimes different. For cut bamboo, they use two verbs, tu and soi. Soi is actually, tu is bamboo, they cut it like a tree, but they use soi when they can cut the bamboo at one atom, the small bamboo. It's manageable. Then they use this for soi. But lak is a very unique thing I found. They use only this verb when they're cutting the bamboo vertically. But if they make the pieces of bamboo horizontally, they use the word sek. Cutting of bamboo sticks, they use two verbs here, teng and plek. In my next slide, I can show the photo. This is also a video, but I make a picture. This is actually teng. For teng, they hold the bamboo stick in one hand, and they you can see their traditional knife, how it look like. They use this one to cut things, and this is thing. So cutting grass is mru also have four things. So these four verbs actually depends on the instrument. This is totally instrument based. If they cut with the sickle, the first one, this is an uneven surface, and this make a friction. So when they cut, actually they use this one to for the rice paddy plant or rice when they're cutting rice thing. But the friction is important, the sound when they cut these things with the things. When they uprooted something with their hand, they joy, and they use cape when they cut down with the scissors. And thak, thak, they use this verb when they cut the grass with their traditional knife. They call it sry. So when they use stripe, because this is very plain, smooth, and very sharp, so there is no friction. They can cut it smoothly. So they use this verb thak. And some common cutting instrument, Mru people used to do that thing, but I couldn't accommodate all of the instrument. Some of these I collected from the Google, and some I took the photo, but I hope I can accommodate, or I can took photo of all of these. There is some. Cutting food item in Mru language, sek is generally used for pieces things. But we found some differences here too. Pork is something like in the first photo, we can say this is a Mru. From the community, I got this photo, how they put their things in one hand and other hand the stry. And this motion of cutting is called pork. And even pork is, I found another place in this same verb when they prepare the land for the farming. They don't say digging the land, they say cutting the land. They use the same verb pork. And digging the land is for them, this is a different verb, and they indicate it's for making a hole. So cutting land and digging land is different for them. So they use pork in both cases. Pra is two pieces. When they do something, they call pra. So first they do pork, then pra. Then sek is several pieces. But this is also different when they cut meat. Top is something, chunk of meat, which is flesh and bones together. This is actually not prepared for cooking yet. Then they cut it several pieces and they do it, they cook for cooking. They called it tipia. Cutting vegetable, it is not chopping, and I will discuss later why this is not chopping. Cutting vegetable in several pieces, Mru have different word for row. So this is kind of things. This is the summary of Mru cut verbs. So to creep nongon, cutting tree. It depends on the size of the tree. If the tree is very big, and for example, banyan tree, and needs more manpower, and their traditional instrument called dam, then they use this word creep. But deforestation is now a big issue in that particular area. So this creep verb is now very limited in use right now. And nongon is the middle size of tree, and tu is as I said before, the normal thing. Tu and soy, as I said before, soy use when they cut that, for example, banana tree, banana plant, they cut it in an atom, so they can call it soy. But when they need more atoms, they use the word tu. For cutting grass, different. Peeling something. Peeling with hand and peeling with an instrument. Two verbs is there. When they peel with the hand, they said seu, and peeling with instrument, they said lake. So another interesting thing is like separating fruit from the tree. So there is four verb I found: Priya, Lakko, Lake, and Long. Priya is something, is not you at reach. You need some instrument to collect these things. Lakko is a verb they use when they need to climb on the tree. For example, when they collect coconut and betel nut, they climb on the tree and they use that verb. Lake is something when the object is on the ground. So, for example, betel leaf or leafy vegetable. And loom is something like when the fruit is the reach, within the reach. You can use your hand to collect it. So, Mru ecology and cardword. In Mru, we've found the distinctive features of lots of cardwords, and according to their cardwords, they categorize their plants into three categories: tree, bamboo, and grass. And the interesting fact is, in Mru language, the forest is a compound word, and they use all of these three words to indicate forest. So this is something thing, and I will go a bit quickly. So some common verbs as you starting the same object to and so, it just difference between how many attempts you need to do that. And the verb to, poke, and nom is always different about the object, but indicate the cutting things. And when you use the Mru card verb itself, it's complete and it expresses the object, the action, and everything. So, for example, Mru card verb like cape. Cape comes from the word kind cape. Kind cape is scissor. So cutting anything with scissor is cape. It can be your hair, it can be grass, it can be like tree branches. Everything should be cape then. Human hands consider an instrument, very important instrument. Tear down leaf with the hands click. Broke the stick with the hand flick. Tear down the paper with the hand shake. Tear down rope with the hand row. And make a hole with the hand walk. And peel with the hand sew. So they have different sets of lexicon when they need to use their hand. So, how ecology can influence this language use and this verb? I may recall that language ecology studied the interaction between given language and environment. So, it is not possible to consider the card verbs as a monolithic and decontextualized and static entity. A large lexicon related to card verbs might become unusable as their ecology triggers change frequently. Now, I can show you some changes which already happened in that village and how it is really a transitional period for this language. I cannot say it good or bad, but they are changing. So in the first photo, that was their traditional farming style. They called it Zoom cultivation. The main crops was paddy, corn, vegetable, and local fruits. But now Mru people shifting from jute cultivation to the garden cultivation. What is the problem here? Nothing actually, but in the jute cultivation, they produce product for living, not for selling. But in the garden cultivation, they started producing product for commercial purpose. So they stopped producing paddy, for example. Now, paddy related lots of lexicon already lost from this language and lots of vegetables. For example, I can remember one vegetable, they called it sweet cucumber. Uh, I cannot remember the exactly Mru name right now. My participant, who is very young, he has no idea about that vegetable and he doesn't know the taste of this vegetable. When his mother told me the story, oh, in our childhood we eat that and this is very sweet, round kind of cucumber. My participant was totally blind and he said that I don't know, even didn't uh, know that word before. I didn't listen, I didn't hear it. So this is a problem. So, and the bamboo was the very important for their life. Even previously, one of their rituals was if a Mru child born, they planted 4 bamboos for this child, for living. But now they're shifting their house material from bamboo to wood and sometimes concrete. So in the second picture, we can see a char. Char is some kind of balcony. In the traditional house, it's mandatory. But in the new house, when they shifted into the wooden house, now it is not mandatory. So this pattern also lost, and lots of bamboo related activity also lost. So I don't know how we can preserve this verb still in that language. Shifting the traditional life practice too. Here lots of their artifact, practical artifact, it comes from the bamboo. But now they're shifting with the other artificial things. In the third picture, we can see some grout. This grout is not only grout. For them, this is their traditional water container. That was their only traditional water container. Now they replace these things. In the last photo, we can see, actually, I was collecting water with them on my field work. So they do it with the plastic bottles. This is a huge problem because their water stream is already narrow, and this plastic bottle is like make a blockage for them. So this is like kind of, I don't know how can we beat that. And this water canteen are already shifted. So this is my conclusion. There is a close connection between the procedural knowledge of Muru people and the physical characteristics of their natural materials. But the card verb today, I only focus on the lexical things and lexical point of view. But in future, I really want to do something, their transitivity and tonality, language contact, and the other aspect of sociolinguistics, how the influential factors changes and keep contribution for this thing. Thank you for listening.